Welcome back, gaming fans. Beggles here with possibly my last 2025 upcoming game videos for the year. This time we're looking at Soulslike games, and for those who want to argue, I'm basing this off Steam tags, so if you want to complain, let Steam know. Most of these are listed for 2025 release, and there's a couple of TBAs in there at the end, and I'm also assuming that you already know about Elden Ring Night Rain, so let's jump in. Let's start off with the impressive WUCHANG Fallen Feathers. Set within the Shylands during the late Ming Dynasty, this action RPG Souls-like game has impressive scope with location and enemies as you play as a skilled warrior struck by amnesia. I feel like that's been mentioned in every video I've done so far. You are working towards mastering new skills and gaining weapons to find out the mysteries of your past. After the success of Chinese mythology games over the past 6 months or so, this could become the next big game with an engaging storyline and visually stunning boss fights to participate in, slated for the release at some point in 2025.
Still hope or faith.
Moving on to AI Limit, the post-apocalyptic offering from Sense Games. Releasing in late March of this year, you play as Arrisa, an immortal warrior fighting her way through the last city of Havenswell, which happens to have some very aggressive and twisted enemies to fight with. There is an array of environments to explore, from ruins to slums to sewers, as you try and unfold the mysteries of the spreading mud, a substance from which the monsters are emerging. AI Limit is a Souls-like RPG game with very difficult and technical looking fighting mechanics and quite cool artistic design. I would like to say that I love boss rush games, but truthfully they trigger me. And Rubinite looks like another game that, despite its fantastic gritty pixel art, is going to make a whole lot of people rage as they fail boss fight after boss fight. You play as Ruby, a princess who, having escaped, is now looking to gain revenge and reclaim her kingdom. You'll be utilizing a special focus battling system that requires you to find enemies' weakness points to win the fight, dodging fast and furious attacks, and doing a whole lot of evading. As you defeat enemies, Ruby absorbs their powers, giving you enhanced abilities for upcoming battles. Those who love Souls-like and boss rush games should have this on their radar, currently stated to release in 2025. From pixels to voxels, the very stylish Ronin Trail is currently listed to release on Steam in May this year, a game which makes me wonder whether you can have a peaceful existence in a Souls-like game, and in which you play as a Ronin, no longer needed as a warrior and wandering through the countryside in search of an existence. I'm currently watching Shogun at the moment, not that that has anything to do here, just sharing that I'm watching a cool TV show with samurais. In Ronin Trail, you will need to explore the environment to find food to survive, use your katana to learn techniques and defeat enemies, whilst tackling dojos and bounties along your way to become a great swordsman. Looks like a lot of fun. The Relic, the First Guardian, is your classic Souls-like game that we're seeing more and more of. This dark fantasy game puts you to task gathering the different pieces of a relic that can seal the darkness, save the day from the evil baddies kind of thing. You are the last guardian, so it's all down to you. A game listed as semi-open world, meaning you get the chance to explore with different types of weapons and unique skills that will influence your combat style. You will be utilizing crafting and runes to strengthen your characters and clearing dungeons and bosses to gain access to more parts of the world. The type of game I always recommend checking out a demo or a review before committing into. The Relic First Guardian is listed as a 2025 release. Duel Corp is a type of title that I love to have a look into. A Souls-inspired action RPG utilizing 3D pixel art graphics with a whole lot of options around the way that you play through. Duel Corp involves intense, fast-paced direction-based combat set within procedurally generated worlds that allow you to interact with others in online multiplayer. I'm curious how the procedurally generated trial system will work, but am encouraged by the large and open array of classes, weapons, and abilities for you to choose and mix with. I have to say that I am sucked in here with the visuals and combat style. Although listed for release early this year, I'll be expecting some updates about the actual release date soon. Glaciered could well be the most unique story from any game featured in this Soulslike video here. You play as a tuai, a species that has evolved from birds millions of years into the future after the world has been frozen over, and play through an underwater world that looks very impressive as your species becomes under threat of extinction. What are you going to find in this dangerous underwater environment? Humongous sea creature enemies, of course, as you utilize real-time combat with melee and range attacks, using your ability to control heat and cold within your combat. There's also large-scale looking crocodile and shark enemies to fight with, and that is enough to have Glaciered on my watch list. 2025 release listed for this one. So this is the second time I've featured this game, and once again, if you don't like animated blood and violence, skip to the next one. It's the first Berserker Khazan, which has one of the most visually stunning trailers, and a bit of a sneak peek into the fast-paced action Souls-like game you're going to see with this RPG. You will become a Khazan, a general of the Pellos Empire, overcoming death to try and seek vengeance against those who brought you down. The way you will do this is by combining skills to create your own combat style, in a game that promises hardcore action fighting. You have the ability to utilize a number of weapons, including dual wielding, alongside armor and gear that can be upgraded. The first Berserker Khazan is listed as a late March release.
Struggles to break.
I do believe this is the only sequel in the video, and we're looking at the very difficult 2D action RPG game Tales of Iron 2, a game that will allow you to play as Arlo, heir to the water of the wastes, and tackle harsh environments full of humongous beasts and other challenges. I gotta say, I'm always a little worried when a game has not only the Souls-like tag, but difficult as well. Be expecting challenging gameplay here. Tales of Iron 2 is an epic journey that is fully narrated as you go searching for the legendary monsters to gain the loot that they provide you with. You will need to learn difficult and fast-paced combat patterns to win battles, and then use your goodies to craft equipment that will make you even stronger. A game that I think looks stunning. This one is slated for a release at the end of January, next week. Let's move on to a couple of the quirkier TVA games to have on your radar. Dinoblade is an action RPG game that lets you fight as a dinosaur with crazy big swords, fighting against other dinosaurs who also happen to have really large swords. Maybe a bit of fun, but something you might keep your eye out for in the future.
You humans slaughtered each other.
Let's finish with ArcheAge Chronicles, an online RPG game that has Souls-like elements with its large-scale boss fights and intense battling mechanics. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of purely online RPG games, but it's worth having one here for those who enjoy the genre. And you can't deny that the setting and storyline here looks engaging and has a lot of quality. Not one that I'll play, but maybe one for you. There's a collection of pretty unique and interesting Souls-like games, ranging across different genres and visual styles. If you watched this far, comments and subscribing help YouTube show this video to more people, and I'm always open to suggestions about future videos. Thanks for watching.